I think Nongfu Spring will be there, and Ihai or Luo will probably be there too. Because edible oil is considered a basic necessity product, so it should be included. I think Wadeli will be there, the company that makes flour. Personally, I also think Eastroc Beverage will be there. It's a functional beverage, because people still need it. You always need to have a drink to stay energized. Youth is about staying awake and alert. Of course, there are more, many more. I think Moutai will be there, but they can all come up with some examples like this. Including what we mentioned, Haitian soy sauce might also be included. These are essential, high-frequency, and heavily livelihood-oriented products. Many of them have a chance. It's not just a matter of 3 or 5, but rather about products that are even more closely tied to people's daily lives and essential needs. Most essential livelihood products tend to be quite resilient, so you'll notice that those closely related to your own basic life, well, we're not talking about things like concerts here. Traveling, meeting up with friends, those are things you might not do all the time. But in your everyday life, when you go home, the actions you repeat most frequently, the products you use most often, if we look at a group of 100 people, the products that more than 50 of them use regularly are likely the essential items I'm talking about. These are necessities, high frequency, closely tied to people's daily lives, and backed by strong technical implementation. That's why we're willing to focus on essential, high frequency, livelihood-related products. The key phrase, bringing vitality to everyday life, empowering ordinary people, supporting Chinese society, and boosting the private economy, is not just an empty slogan or a vague vision. It truly reflects a deep understanding of the future of China's economy and the development of its consumer economy. It arises from the core driving forces and fundamental underlying logic of these developments. That won't happen, because first of all, you need these things, you need to eat, you need to drink beverages, you need to drink water. These are all basic necessities. It's just that in your daily life, you consume them in such a routine way that it feels unremarkable to you, so you take them for granted. You might not even think of it as a brand. Only when you don't see it as a brand does it truly become a powerful brand. This is the general pattern of development in the industry, and it's also what I mean when I talk about the business development cycle. Today, our products are mostly from big product companies, and these companies usually focus on single products, so our brands are still numerous, and the single product brand matrix is quite large. A brand matrix like this is typically found in more developed economies, in larger companies, and in long-established, veteran brands. I think that, up to now, Chinese consumer goods and brands still don't have the strong capability to operate multiple products. What does this require? It requires our consumer economy and our consumer service industry to reach a higher level of development. Of course, this is just around the corner. I think it's already starting to happen. You've asked a very good question. After all, China only began its reform and opening up in 1978, and only joined the WTO in 2001. In reality, we've only been developing a market economy for about 20 years. When we benchmark ourselves against the United States, Europe, and other global developed countries' brands, it's really about how to find the right benchmarks. What we need to prove is that, within this long arc of development in major industries, we actually have tremendous room for growth, as well as flexibility and resilience. This is correct, because from the fundamental consumer-based perspective, no matter the country, region, or language, basic needs are essentially the same. People are people. So, this is a comparable approach, right? I think it's very useful. However, secondly, precisely because we are a unified global market, a single, unified large market, there are different consumer demands in different countries. There will always be different consumer markets, with their own consumption characteristics and traits. Therefore, China will have its own unique characteristics. That's why China has produced the world's most expensive liquor. If you combine all types of liquor globally, none compared to China's Moutai. For us Chinese, not everyone can afford to drink it. I estimate maybe only 10 or 20 million people can afford Moutai, and among those, perhaps only 10 million can regularly afford it, and not more than 5 million drink it regularly. In such an environment, we've created Moutai, which shows this as a uniquely Chinese phenomenon. In my opinion, Moutai can't be considered an alcoholic beverage company. It's a brand. In the Chinese context and environment, Moutai is actually a kind of production factor, and even serves as a form of social currency with a reserve function. It's a social currency that carries added value. It has a long-standing uniqueness, but you can't simply define it as an ordinary consumer good. It has a very distinctive character. So this is to say that China will see the emergence of many products with unique characteristics. Take Eastroc Beverage, for example. We've managed to grow this big. If, in another 5 years, we can surpass Red Bull, then we will have overtaken what took Red Bull half a century to achieve in just 10 years. What does this show? It shows that the Chinese market truly provides tremendous growth opportunities and remarkable resilience and flexibility for China's consumer service industry, especially for those with strong innovation and technological capabilities. That's why we can look forward to, right? A Chinese version of L'Oreal, a Chinese version of McDonald's, a Chinese version of KFC. But, of course, they won't necessarily be exactly the same.